Hello, Williamson County, and welcome to Pet Watch, a monthly series brought to you by the Williamson County Animal Center, where we explore all things related to the programs and services at the center and animals in Williamson County. For those of you who might be adjusting your antenna or tapping your screen, trying to figure out where Debbie Sims is, if you missed our most recent episode, she has retired, and I am your new host, Scott Pieper, trying to follow in Debbie's footsteps as the community outreach coordinator. So bear with me, this is my first time hosting Pet Watch, and I've got the privilege of starting off with a very exciting and important episode. We will be talking to you today about fostering. A very special guest with us, one of our foster parents, Ellen Quertermous.
Quertermous, yeah.
Quertermous.
Yeah.
Miss Q.
Yes, Miss Q. Just call me that.
And Brooke Robbins. Brooke is adoption specialist and foster coordinator at the center. Brooke, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do in your role?
So with the foster coordinator, I take care of all the kittens and cats, dogs, and puppies, but mainly kittens right now, that are too small to be fixed and go on to the adoption floor. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of, since I'm an adoption specialist as well, like behind the scenes, and then when they go to the floor, I adopt them out. But yeah, so any animals that aren't ready for adoption yet, they go to foster families like Miss Ellen, and they care for them for up to 8 weeks, depending on when you get them.
Right. What exactly is fostering? I think most people are at least remotely familiar with the term, but what is?
As it is in our shelter, we will supply everything. All you need to do is supply love and a home. That's pretty much it. So you just watch the cats, kittens mainly, until they are ready to be adopted.
So the animals, for whatever reason, who need a foster home will go and stay with the foster parent at their home for, it's usually a predetermined amount of time?
Yeah. So once they're 8 weeks old is when most of them will get fixed. So it's really 2 pounds, but they gained a pound a month. So 8 weeks is a good time for them to come back. Mm-hmm. So instead of them staying in the shelter for 3 to 4 weeks, not being as socialized as they would in a home, they go to homes.
Fantastic. And you said that some of the animals are too young, and that's why they need a foster. Mm-hmm. What are some of the other reasons that an animal might need a foster care?
Medical, hospice, where hospice is the cat, due to health reasons, is not adoptable. But we will take care of them for the rest of their life in a foster home.
Right.
And then socializing. So sometimes we'll get kittens or dogs that need extra care and attention that the shelter can't supply. So that's when they go to foster.
Right. And regardless of what the reason is, the outcome for the animal is that it makes them more adoptable for someone, for the long-term goal of getting them adopted, and they help in that way. And I know that you are a very busy person in your role. Actually, I know that you've already had an emergency today, because you are working with so many foster animals and so many foster parents. How many animals do we have in foster right now?
Currently, we have 219.
Wow.
A little over 200 is, about 210 is kittens. The rest are, I have a litter of puppies and then hospice animals. Mm-hmm. Since January, however, I looked this up last night, since January we have put into foster almost 600 animals.
Already this year?
Already this year.
Wow. And Ellen, are you one of the current fosters?
I am. I have 2 probably 8-9-week-old kittens at home right now. And they are so much fun. They're running around and getting to know my other cats. Mm-hmm. So they're socialized to older cats, which is part of our job. We try to get them acclimated to being in a home, get used to the TV. That seems to be the big thing. They're scared of the TV. And playing with other animals. There are a lot of homes that have children and have dogs, and they, when possible, they try to acclimate them to those as well. So again, it makes them more adoptable. The more situations they're familiar with, then the more adoptable they are.
It makes it as a much easier adjustment when they go into a home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they've been in another one.
All right. And I know that we are also just getting into, or into anyways, what I've heard referred to as kitten season.
Yes.
So for the next 3 months or so, I guess.
Last year it didn't end until like November.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if it's a season anymore. It's just,
We get a break in
get a couple
January
months
now. January, we get a break.
but basically, an adult cat can start reproducing at 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
They can. They have a 2 months gestation, and they can get pregnant while nursing. So they're built to breed. So by the time a cat's 8 months old, she could already have 12 kittens
Oh my goodness.
or more. I mean, an average litter is 6. So
And multiple litters each year as well.
Yeah.
As well. And so you mentioned that most of the kittens, most of the animals in foster are kittens, and the primary reason is that they're too young to be adopted yet. So where do all these young kittens come from? How do they find their way to you?
outside.
Strays?
Yeah.
And
We've worked really, really hard these last couple of years with the community cat program, but there's always going to be cats out there. I think at the beginning of the program, Sam did an educated estimate of over 50,000 outdoor and indoor-outdoor cats in Williamson County.
50,000 in
Yes.
Williamson County alone?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And we have fixed, I know at the beginning of the year, I think it was 2,000. So it's a dent, but they're still
Right.
out there.
Right.
And it just comes to educating people of please.
We
please spay and
did see
neuter.
a little bit of a break in the kitten season. Seemed
Yeah.
to start a little later this year.
Yeah.
So our program is having some effect that it didn't start in
Absolutely.
March this year, but it probably will continue through November.
Fantastic. And you mentioned the community cat program. That's one of the spay-neuter programs that we have. And so that is targeted to get animals that are living outside, strays primarily, I guess, spayed and neutered, so we can make a dent in that 50,000 cat population.
A lot of them are what is referred to as a community cat. So they're not exactly strays because there's a neighborhood taking care of them.
Okay.
So we just get them fixed so they stop reproducing, because they will for a
Yeah.
very long time.
See, I'm obviously still learning about these things myself, very much so.
That's good. The more
There's a
people
lot
we
to
can,
learn.
There
yeah,
are
and
so
the more
many-
people we get to, the better.
Yeah, yeah. There are a lot of amazing programs that we have at the center. And
There really is.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get them
I
one at a
started
time.
before the community cat program, and it was insane.
Yeah,
You remember?
I remember.
Like,
I remember. We had cats
crates
everywhere.
and crates in an adoption. There were crates in the lobby for cat adoptions and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
all of that. And a lot of them were cats that were already being cared for where they were. But
We also have an increasing number of fosters as the word gets out that it's sometimes hard, but always fun and rewarding. There are more fosters are coming
Yeah.
in and wanting to help out with that as well. So that's a big plus.
Yes, absolutely.
And Brooke does a great job of getting the word out. Penny Adams does a good job of getting
She
the word
does.
out.
I can't imagine.
We've got a lot of new fosters, I think,
Yeah.
trying to sign up and
How
help us
many-
out.
How many foster families do we have? on the-
so I have, I believe, 75 to 80 active families.
Okay.
Families that have cats currently. Altogether, I think I've got about 200 that
Oh, wow.
That sounds right.
have applied. But there's always scheduling and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like right now, we really do need kitten fosters as well. So, no matter where that number is, we still need more.
Right. Absolutely. Ellen, how long have you been a foster?
Well, I started volunteering in 2015, and I became a foster within a month because there was an older cat that had been turned in and was very unhappy at the shelter. So I decided to take her home for the weekend. And 6 years later, she was still at my house. We call that a foster fail, even though it's actually a big success.
We've all got a failure.
And every foster, I think, has a foster fail at home. But it just made me realize that as soon as I got her home, she stretched out on the bed like she was home. And I said, well, she can't go back. But we do have to strengthen ourselves a little bit to take them back because we fall in love with everyone. But then I realized how much different it is to actually have them in a home. If they're a little kitten, it's less scary than all the noises at the shelter. I mean, the shelter is a great place, and the volunteers and staff do a wonderful job, but it's just not a fun place for a little kitty.
Right.
So to have them in homes, and I just realized that my husband and I both love them and like having them around, and it's just, so rewarding, and like I said, a little difficult sometimes if they're not well, but we just like having them around. And when we run out of fosters in January, we're all lonely going, we need kittens, even though we know it's a good thing we don't have.
Do you feel that way when we run out of fosters?
No.
No.
I love them.
Yeah, but the fosters do start going, well, we miss the kittens. We don't want there to be kittens.
I'll
but
get like 3 or 4 pictures a day of empty kitten rooms, like
Oh, no.
with like a sad song.
Yeah, it's like, here I am lonely without any kittens around. They really do add so much personality
really
to
do.
the home,
It's
and
so much
and
fun to
caring
watch
for
them
them is
grow.
rewarding. And
Like,
Yeah.
just watching them grow and watching them acclimate is so fun. They're such amazing creatures.
yeah, and my husband and I both kind of like getting the ones that are a little bit what we call spicy, and we
I
like
hear that word,
we like to
foster.
take them home and let them hiss and spit at us a little bit, and then we're just really good at just kind of being around until they decide we're okay. And I like a lot of the fosters find that especially rewarding because a lot of people wouldn't put up with it. But they turn out most of the time just to be warm and fuzzy, just like the rest of them. They just were frightened. So
right. 'Cause
we kind of specialize in those right now, and then adult cats that need medicine and things like that. I've done there are some all-night jobs that a lot of people specialize in. I had to give those up just because I don't do well without sleep.
Yes.
But that's
Well,
okay.
As someone who has experience with the fostering, has been doing it for a little while now, why don't you kind of describe if there is such a thing as a typical experience, what it is
Well,
like?
I think what I have right now is pretty typical. We had some kittens that were brought in as strays, and they were only like less than a pound. They were just tiny kittens. These particular kittens were already eating solid food, so I didn't need to bottle feed them, even though I've done that and I could have. And so you bring them home and you just kind of let them acclimate a little bit to being in a different place, and show them where the food is, and train them to the litter box a little bit because they're used to being outside. And then just kind of hang around with them and play with them and teach them that people are okay. And that people are actually a lot more fun than being out in the dirt and the grass and the cars. And right now, they run to the door when we open the foster room. We actually turned our entire formal living room into a foster room. We just took all the furniture out and put cat beds and cat toys and cat towers and a little bit of furniture for the people. And so we can take larger litters because we have a large space.
Okay.
And so they run to the door when you open the door and it's just so nice to see those happy little faces coming at you. So the ones we have right now, they run to the door. They run to see our other kittens. They want to play with our big 6-pound cat. And then now that 8 weeks and they're over 2 pounds, we're kind of getting a little bit sad because we have to let them go back. But then we know that Brooke is going to find them.
I'll have more for you.
I know. Brooke is going to find them a wonderful home. And we have such a wonderful group of cat volunteers. And a lot of them really love what we call matchmaking. And they are so good at finding just the right home for just the right cat or kitten. And so we feel good about bringing them back because we know those people will take over and find them a place where they can be happy forever.
Right. Now, you mentioned that you sort of converted an area of your home
Yes.
into the foster room.
Yeah.
But that's not necessary for
No,
someone
we
to
just
be a
happened to have
foster.
an old ranch
No.
house that had
Right.
a room we never went in.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there are
But-
people with walk-in closets, there are people with big bathrooms or not so big bathrooms. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't need a lot of space because whatever they have is bigger than a kennel at the shelter. So.
Right. And we get, I'm not sure if it's every morning, but pretty regularly on I believe it's the foster Facebook page.
Yeah.
The all moments of the morning.
Yes.
So I can imagine that getting those in person.
Yes.
Is where it's, the all moments are the photos of the
Adorable.
foster kittens
Yeah.
just doing.
We all have our cameras ready all the time.
Right.
Our phones
all
are right
times,
here
right.
every second, and because they'll discover a new toy, or they just snuggle up against your neck, or something that almost brings tears to your eyes because they're just so darn cute.
Yeah.
And every little thing is a milestone, and it's just a lot of fun to share with the other fosters. And I think that's what keeps the new fosters excited about continuing, because they see that those of us who've been doing it for 5 or 6 years are still going, oh, that's so cute. We just have to have a picture of that. So,
Right.
so it becomes and that Facebook page is a nice community where we share pictures and ask for advice from the people who've done this before, and Brooke gets on there and helps us out. So it's a really good setup. The center has really provided fosters with pretty much the ideal situation if you want to be a foster.
And what kind of support does a foster get from the center? I know we don't just hand a foster pet off and say, here you go, come back
No.
on.
We'll do all vaccinations. We have a vet that is on staff that has certain vet hours where she's able to see fosters. All food, litter, toys, whatever they need is provided. And then, yeah, I mean, normally they're matched up with a mentor, so other than being able to contact me, they can contact somebody else as well.
So pretty much it sounds like someone could foster really at no expense.
Oh, yeah,
Is
completely.
the center make sure that they have everything that they need?
I mean, if they want to go buy some toy, like, that's up to them, but it is not required at all. We have enough donations that it's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And are there certain requirements to become a foster, or who can foster?
I mean, pretty much anybody once. So you can fill out an application on our website, and then me or another foster will call and just tell them about like what it is, all like that, and then they're welcome to come pick up. Once I contact them that there's kittens, very rarely is. I don't think I've ever actually had to deny it.
Yeah, if
They're willing.
yeah, I mean, the cat that I first foster failed with did not like other cats. But that didn't mean I couldn't foster. I could just close off the foster room and keep them in their own space, keep my cat in her own space, and it all worked out. And most people probably would have a room or a bathroom or a closet or something where they could keep animals separate from other animals if they needed to.
Yeah.
And that is recommended for the first couple of weeks anyway, just to make sure everybody's happy and healthy.
Right.
But most everybody would have the space, and if they have just a little bit of time, they can take the older ones.
Yeah.
If they have lots of time, they can take the bottle, what we call bottle babies,
Yep.
and keep them going. So just
Exactly.
about anybody could.
And what about if someone were to find the strays that we were talking about earlier? How do they go about getting them to the center to be able to?
They get dropped off as strays, just like any other cat would. So they go through intake, and then the intake coordinator lets me know, hey, we've got 5 2-week-old kittens in here. They're going to need foster. So.
And do you recommend that they be brought in with the mother if the mother
If
is around?
possible, yes,
or-
because not only is the mother such an important aspect of socializing and feeding, but also if she's not coming in, she's going to get pregnant again, and we're going to be in the same issue in 2 months.
And do you find, or does it happen often when the mother does come in with the kittens, do they go to the foster home as well? They do. All right.
If possible. Sometimes if they're very, very, very feral, no.
Okay.
But we do
And
have a
then
few fosters that'll take that on as well.
Yeah.
And if that's the case with the mother being feral and not being able to, then what is done with the mother at that point then, if it's decided that she's not a good foster candidate?
Then Sam would coordinate with a barn or somebody looking for a cat that wants to live outdoors, things like that. It's all about the comfort of the cat. We're not going to force a cat to stay inside if they don't want to, especially if that's been their whole life, is being outside. There's no reason to force them to stay inside when we have the opportunity to find them placement outside.
Right.
A nice place where they are cared for. You know, their basic needs are taken care of, but they don't have to deal with people because they just don't want to.
We refer to that as like a working cat.
Oh, yeah.
So they kill the mice and you feed them.
And all of this information about all of these things that we're talking about is available on the website
Yes, sir.
for someone to check out, and they can also do the applications to become a foster parent if they would like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We always
Well-
need more.
Yes.
Well,
And we
I wanna-
welcome them with open arms.
Yes.
Ellen, I'm curious, are there any favorite fostering moments that you would like to share?
Well, let's see. I have so many. I think probably there was one summer when we took a lot of feral litters and turned them around and got them adopted. So we were very proud of that. But then I said to Brooke, could we just have some that are warm and fuzzy from the beginning? And so she gave us the cutest little litter of black and white tuxedo kittens.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And they, I mean, from day one, they were climbing all over. You sit down in the chair and they're biting on your neck and going to sleep on your neck. And it was just kind of, you know, just like a warm hug. And we felt like we had worked pretty hard, even though we loved those kittens, and they turned out great, and they turned out to be lovable. But then we had that one group that would just swarm all over you and love you to death from the beginning. So we didn't finish the foster season with that, but that was a nice little change from what we normally do, which we're happy to do. We're happy to do the ferals because not everybody has maybe the patience that a retired school teacher has. So, but that was
That's good
one of our
training,
favorites.
being a teacher for
Yeah.
kids. Yeah.
And we had an adult foster that needed to lose a little weight because she came in overweight. And we took her home, and I'm not really the best at weight loss stuff for cats because I'm softy. But Brooke was kind enough to say, well, you got her running around and the weight that she's gained is muscle mass. So Brooke is very sweet to us fosters when we don't really complete our assignment. But this
all
cat was
about
great, and
activity,
she ended up
so.
with the perfect home.
Right.
She really did.
She ended up with a lady who just loved her, and they're doing great. So
Which is the ultimate goal.
which is the ultimate
Which is
goal.
the
It's-
ultimate
and there's
The
a
point is goodbye.
yeah, and there seems to be somebody out there for every
everyone.
cat. They come
There's
in and
certain
say,
cats that I'm just,
Yeah.
you kind of, once you're experiencing them, you're like, I don't know what
don't know
your
who would
perfect
like
home
them.
is.
Right.
And there's always someone that comes in that is just the fit.
yeah,
Nice.
they either ask about a particular cat they've seen on Pet Finder. The Pet Finder page is pretty up to date, is really up to date on who we have available. And they'll say, I want to meet this cat, even though the description is like, well, this cat isn't for every single person. Or they'll just come in and say, I want the cat that's been here the longest. Don't care what it is, I just want it. Or I want the cat that's been the most difficult to adopt, and I have the place for them. And we just want to hug those people, and sometimes we do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, before we wrap up, I do want to get from both of you, for anyone who is considering thinking about maybe becoming a foster parent, what advice or tips would you give them?
Well, from my point of view, it is, as I said, so much fun, so many awe moments, so rewarding to watch them progress to be the cats that we know they can be and be adopted. You also need to know there are some difficult moments because kittens are fragile, especially the ones that come in from less than ideal situations. And so you need to be ready to have to give Brooke a call every once in a while or bring them into the vet if they don't seem to be doing well. And that's so heart-wrenching. Mm-hmm. You do get scared for them sometimes.
Sure.
But the support that we have is amazing, and we do everything that we can for them. And when you pull them through, it's just, it just brings tears to your eyes that you've had such good support and that you've been able to help such a small, fragile being make it through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even though it's not their forever home, I'm sure that there is some bonding that takes place.
Oh gosh, yes.
There's a lot of bonding. We have one foster that has a wall of all the fosters. She has pictures on the wall of all the fosters that she has had, and she keeps adding to it and adding to it. Yeah. And there's more than one that does that, or they keep a picture album or something on their phone of all the fosters that they've had. And a lot of us have Instagram pages for our fosters. Yeah. And that's a good way to network with other fosters in the community. I'm in Davidson County. I live in Davidson County, even though I foster and volunteer out here. And so I can find fosters if there's somebody near me that needs a foster. I have some contacts through my Instagram page. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun to share on Instagram all the. I think we have 4 or 5 fosters that have Instagram pages, which is fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both so much. I know I've learned a lot more about fostering, and I don't know. Maybe I'll. Do we have any applications back at the center I can fill out to become? Well, thank you again, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Pet Watch. And until we meet again, we'll keep changing the county one animal at a time.